Good
Good morning,
dear
dear students.
Welcome back to history
And
class.
welcome to history class.
Dear students, we are learning
Dear
about
students, we are
Buddhism
learning
and
about
Jainism.
Buddhism and Jainism, no?
The
In this
two new
video, we will
religions
learn the remaining
emerged in
teachings
India
of
in
Buddhism.
the 6th century BC because of various reasons.
In the previous videos, we have learned
So
about
please remember
the
the
emergence of
reasons for
Buddhism.
the emergence of these religions in India.
We have learned about the
days.
4 great sites,
Okay.
then
And then we have learned about
great
the Vardhamana
renunciation,
Mahavira and his
the
Jainism
great
teachings of
renunciation.
Mahavir.
It was an event.
Then we have learned about the spread of this
Gautama Buddha
religion.
left his home after
And
seeing the
finally, we
4th
have
site.
learned
No?
about
We
the
have
split
learned
in this religion
with a
into
view to
Svedambara,
find the
Digambara.
solutions of the
And then we have learned about the
answers or
various
the questions.
influences of this religion
After
in
seeing
the
the
society.
4th site, no?
After that, we have learned
After
about
seeing the
Buddhism. No?
4 sites, he began to think about the reasons for
Okay,
human
Gautama
sorrow.
Buddha and his four
So,
sides, and we have learned
With a
about
view
the
to find
great
solutions for all
renunciation.
these questions, he left his home.
After the
And this
enlightenment,
event was known as
okay,
the
Gautama became Lord Buddha.
great
He
renunciation
gave his first sermon. So
for the
please remember these things.
Mahabhiskarmana.
Okay, now it is about the teachings of Buddhism.
Then he became the enlightened
Already we
one
heard
after
about
many years
the
of
Four
pride
Noble Truth,
or penance.
Eightfold
Okay.
Path.
We
Okay,
heard
like
about
right
the
action,
Dharmachakra
right
Pravartana.
thought, right belief, right
Okay, the
living,
Four
right
Noble
speech,
Truth,
right effort, right
Eightfold
recollection, right meditation.
And now the
Okay,
remaining
so the eightfold path or the
teachings
middle
of
path,
Buddhism.
because
Okay.
it lies between
So,
the lectures
code of
living
conduct.
and hard penance. That is why it is
Lord
called
Buddha
the
set
middle
a
path
code
of
of
eightfold
conduct.
path.
So what do you mean by code
And
of
now,
conduct? Code of conduct is a set of rules outlining the norms, rules and responsibilities, okay, that a person has to follow. Code of conduct, a set of rules and regulations or responsibilities, we can say. Okay. Buddha formulated a code of conduct for his followers. This includes the following. Okay. Code of conduct. Once again, what is the meaning of the term code of conduct? Is a set of rules and regulations, or we can say rules and responsibilities that a person has to follow. Okay. According to Lord Buddha, so the code of conduct include not to tell a lie, not to own property, not to consume alcoholic drinks, not to commit violence, not to indulge in corrupt practice. So these are the various what we call points of the code of conduct. No, a Buddhist, I mean a follower of Buddha, must follow this in according to Lord Buddha. Not tell a lie. Okay, that a person has to follow honesty. Then not to own property. Second one, property. Not to own property. Third point, not to consume alcoholic drinks. That a person must be away from the influence of these alcoholic drinks and not to commit violence. Always follow what we can say that policy of non-violence, not violence. Okay. Not to indulge in corrupt practices. We all know what you mean by what is the corrupt practice, what are the corrupt practices. Okay. So this is a very good, okay, what we can say teaching, no, code of conduct. And now next one, karma. Like Hinduism, Buddhism believed in the history of karma. Okay, Buddhism said that man is the maker of his own destiny and it believed in rebirth. Okay, Buddhism said that man is the maker of his own destiny and it believed in rebirth. So Buddhism had a faith in the rebirth. The evil deeds will be punished. Therefore, man should follow a middle path. It is karma which decides the type of man's existence in the next life. It is called the wheel of existence. So they have, or Lord Buddha had faith in karma. Okay, the evil deeds means our karma, will be punished. Therefore, man should follow a middle path. Okay, eightfold path or the middle path, no, you know that you know, okay. Right thought, right action, right belief, right living. Okay. So another teachings of Lord Buddha. And now stress on morality. You know what is morality? Buddha insisted on a life based on good actions. His followers were enjoined into practice non-violence and to lead an upright life. No, morality. He stressed the need for morality. And he asked the disciples to follow this one, non-violence, practice non-violence, and lead to an upright life, a right life. So teachings are very good. And now next one, nirvana. The ultimate goal of life is to attain nirvana or salvation. According to Lord Buddha, the ultimate goal or aim of life is to attain moksha or salvation, a stage of eternal bliss or everlasting bliss. Bliss means happiness. It is a peaceful state of mind which conquers all diseases, makes the person free from the cycle of birth and death. So that is nirvana according to Lord Buddha. Attain nirvana or salvation. According to him, the ultimate aim of life is to attain nirvana or salvation. Is a peaceful. What is nirvana or salvation according to Lord Buddha? He said it is a peaceful state of mind which conquers all diseases, makes the person free from cycle of birth and death. And now next, universal brotherhood. Lord Buddha preached universal brotherhood of mankind. He wanted people to live in peace, setting aside all their differences. He invited people of all classes and races to join Buddhism. So one of the great teachings of Lord Buddha is universal brotherhood. Why it is great? So already we have learned, we have learned about the reason for the emergence of this religion. Okay. So here we have learned, caste system during the later Vedic period was one reason, caste system. The four castes or the varnasramas we have learned, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. And what was the condition of the lower class, Shudras? Okay. So please remember, but in his religion or Buddha taught universal brotherhood. Okay. He wanted people to live in peace, setting aside all their differences. Okay. So a very, what we call a good teachings of Lord Buddha. Then, and it is very important now also, okay, universal brotherhood, that is very essential in the world, between people. Okay. And then he invited people of all classes and races to join Buddhism. Buddha invited. We will learn about the various reasons for the spread of Buddhism and Buddhism now. Okay, Buddha's personality. Okay. And now listen, another teachings, no faith in rituals and sacrifices. Buddha said that yajnas cannot change a man's destiny. Sacrifices and rituals are empty ceremonies. So another great teachings, Buddha had no faith in rituals and sacrifices. We have learned, during the later Vedic period, what was the religion of the Aryans? A new class of people emerged in the religion, that is the priest, and they converted the simple religion into a complex one, with full of rituals and sacrifices. And these priests were demanding or asking the people to perform yajnas on every day. And the people had to spend money. Okay, so, but Buddha had no faith in these rituals and sacrifices. Okay, and rituals and, he had no faith. He said, sacrifices and rituals are empty ceremonies only, without any meaning, empty according to Buddha. Okay. And what he said about ahimsa, Like Mahavira, Buddha attached the importance of sanctity of life and followed the path of non-violence. Okay, so both Mahavira and Buddha said all the living beings, I mean life of all the creatures, are having great importance. Okay, thus the importance given to conduct and values rather than claims of superiority based on birth, fellow feelings, compassion for the young and weak drew men and women to Buddhist teaching. Okay, so one of the important reason for the spread of his religion was the teachings of Lord Buddha. His personality was another one. Teachings were very easy to follow. We have learned about nirvana, what he said about nirvana or moksha or salvation. What is the teachings of Lord Buddha regarding universal brotherhood? And what is the teachings of Lord Buddha regarding the rituals and the sacrifices? He had no faith in rituals and sacrifices. Please remember, he had no faith. And what he said about ahimsa. Okay. So please remember the teachings. These are the teachings of Lord Buddha from the beginning. Four Noble Truth, Eightfold Path. Okay. Then what is the attitude of Lord Buddha against, towards God, not against God, towards God. Then code of conduct we have learned, code of conduct. What do you mean by code of conduct? Then karma, stress on morality. Nirvana, universal brotherhood. No faith in rites and rituals and sacrifices. Okay, so please remember the various teachings of Lord Buddha or Buddhism. And now we will learn about the spread of Buddhism. In order to spread his religion, Buddha organized or set up Sangha. Okay, you will learn organization. Okay. So please remember the various teachings of Lord Buddha. That is very important. Eightfold Path, Four Noble Truth. Okay. Then we have learned about a code of conduct. Buddha set a code of conduct for his disciples. Okay. A code of conduct means a set of rules and regulations. Okay. A set of rules outlining the norms, rules and responsibilities of a person. And now we will learn something about the organization of Buddhism, the Sangha. The organization for teaching Buddhism came to be known as the Sangha. So what is Sangha? It is the organization for teachings of Buddhism came to be known as the Sangha. Okay. An organization, no? For teachings of Buddhism. It was a monastic order established to spread Buddhism. Okay. So, Buddha established Sangha, a monastic order where the nuns and the, we know that these monks lived and they spread the Buddhism. Later the Sangha became a powerful institution. It helped to spread Buddhism far and wide. The principles that govern the Sangha are the following. So what was Sangha or what is Sangha? Sangha is the organization for teaching Buddhism. Okay. It is the organization to spread Buddhism in the world. Sangha. And it was a monastic order, or means, where the, we know that the monks and the nuns live, and then they spread the religion far and wide. And the principle, three principles are there. Membership, membership of Sangha. The members of the monastic order were called bhikshus or monks and bhikchunis, nuns, the members. They were required to renounce the world before joining the Sangha. The minimum age was 15 years during Buddha's time. The members had to take the oath, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami, and Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. It means I take a shelter under Buddha, I take shelter under religion, I take shelter under the Sangha. Okay. So, listen, the members of the monastic order were called bhikshus or monks and nuns, and they were triggered to renounce the world before joining the Sangha. Okay. So, suppose a person wants to join the Sangha, no? He has to renounce his, what do we get, life. Renounce the world, and he has to take the oath, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami, Dhanam Sharanam Gacchami. The followers had to undergo training for 10 years. Okay, then there was a training for 10 years. Training period. Okay, so what was the Sangha? Sangha was the organization for teaching Buddhism far and wide. It was a monastic order. Okay, and then it became a powerful organization later after death of Buddha. And then the Sangha helped the spread of Buddhism everywhere. And we have a membership of the Sangha. Okay, now the 10 commandments. So once again, what was Sangha? It was the organization for teaching Buddhism in the world, established by Lord Buddha with a view to spread his religion far and wide, Sangha. And the 3 principles of Sangha, membership, 10 commandments, Viharas we will learn. And the Sangha was a monastic order where, it means the monks and the nuns, they spread the religion far and wide. And then membership, please remember membership. So please remember membership. The members of the monastic order were called bhikshus and the bhikshunis, nuns, monks and nuns. Okay, so please remember. And they were required to renounce the world before joining the Sangha. Okay, and there what we can say, oath, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami. Okay, Buddham Sharanam, Dharmam Sharanam, and Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. I take shelter under Buddha, I take shelter under religion, I take shelter under Sangha. So, person membership in the Sangha. Okay, Sangha and its membership, first principle. Okay, and now the 10 commandments. 10 commandments. Commandments, the 10, what do we get? The principles we can say. Okay. The members had to lead a disciplined life and follow the 10 commandments. Okay. Paramita in Hindi, 10 commandments. Which are the 10 commandments? Okay. To speak the truth, to abide brahmacharya, to follow brahmacharya, not to harm creatures, not to own property, to shun music and dancing, to take in meals only at a fixed time, not to use intoxicants, not to use scented goods, not to sleep on cushions, not to keep money. So very difficult, commandments. First, suppose a member of the Sangham has to follow these commandments. Which are the 10 commandments? Always speak the truth. To speak the truth and abide means obey, follow brahmacharya. Second one. Third commandments, not to harm creatures, follow the path of what we call ahimsa or non-violence. Not on property. Then to shun music and dancing, to shut music and dancing, and to take meals on at a fixed time. Okay, eat very less, please remember. Then, not to use intoxicants, alcoholic drinks, not to use scented goods, we call luxurious items. Okay, not to use intoxicants, alcoholic drinks, not to use scented goods, we call luxurious items. Okay, not to use scented goods, we call luxurious items. Okay, not to use intoxicants, alcoholic drinks, not to use scented goods, we call luxurious items. Okay, not to sleep on cushions. Okay, and not to keep money. A very, what do we can say? Hard life we can say. If a person want to become a member of the Sangha, has to follow these 10 commandments. And now Vigaras, the third. The bhikshus and the bhikchunis or the monks and the nuns were required to roam about in different parts of the country. Okay. For 8 months of the year. They had to sleep in viharas which had separate sections for men and women. Okay. Special rules were framed for the bhikchunis. This was done to ensure discipline. In the viharas, the members led a life of chastity, austerity, devotion and purity. Viharas were the centers where the Buddhist monks and the nuns lived and they spread the religion far and wide. Vihara. Buddhist viharas. Okay. And the monks, okay, we will continue. Thank you.